So you guys wanted to hear the story about how I got ripped off. I put an ad up on a website we have here in Canada. It's basically the Craigslist of Canada. I got called by a landlord of a house. He told me his toilet was plugged. What I will say is he didn't ask me how much it was going to cost, and the ad I put up was a little deceiving. I will give it that. It said drains cleared starting at $100. From what I take, he thought it was going to be $100. So he didn't ask me. I didn't disclose, and I went to the property. It was a basement apartment of a house. The tenant was home, but he was taking his two daughters to gymnastics. He told me that I can just leave the door open when I leave. So I removed the toilets. Before I removed the toilet, I cut the silicone, removed the toilet, snaked the main. Usually go out about 75 feet if it's a house. And the issue was close. It wasn't far, but I wanted to make sure I got right out. I put the toilet back, new gasket, everything worked fine. Put a bead of silicone around, everything worked fine. So I left. The tenant still wasn't home, so I left. I called the guy that sent me there to get him to e-transfer me the money. He asked how much it would cost. I told him it's going to be $300. And he didn't say nothing. He said, okay, no problem. I'll send that right over. About 3 hours later, I sent him a text message saying I didn't get payment. He actually calls me and says, well, the drain's backing up again, so you didn't do the job you told me you were going to do. So I'm like, okay, not a problem. I'll go back. I got no problem going back to a job if that's the case. I'm like, but like, try to get that sent over. Like, so he was a little hesitant and said, well, you're supposed to be a professional. The drain shouldn't be backing up again already. I said, you're right. I don't know what it is. Like, I didn't do a video inspection of the pipe. Everything seemed fine, but maybe there's just a little hiccup in the system. I'll go back, no problem. So then he sent me a text message saying that the toilet was leaking as well. I said, okay, no problem, I'll go back. I went back and noticed the toilet was leaking. So I used my vacuum, sucked out all the water, took the toilet off, and I figured maybe the gasket just wasn't holding. when I removed the toilet, the drain was clear. So I'm thinking that there was something just in the toilet itself. So I snaked it 30 feet just to make sure, ran some water down it, everything ran fine. So I started thinking to myself, well, why was it leaking? I flipped the toilet over and I realized that the bottom of the trapway of the toilet was broken. So I was wondering if the person who put the toilet on originally broke it and I just didn't notice, and because it was silicone, nothing was leaking. So called the owner of the house, told him, and he was kind of questionable about it. So I told him I'm gonna run to Home Depot, grab a new toilet, throw it in, and then I would send him all pictures about what's going on. He's like, yep, just let me know how much I owe you at the end and we will get this looked after. So I went to Home Depot, just grabbed the cheapest toilet I could find. It was $124 plus tax. Come out to $140. So I took the toilet back, installed it, sent pictures and everything about what I was doing, showed them both toilets. I took a picture of the actual toilet that was broken before, and so I got everything done. Everything was working fine. The tenant was home at that time, and the tenant was fine. He didn't have any issues. He understood things happen. He just wanted to have a toilet, which is understandable. Sorry about the wind. Hopefully this isn't coming through. It's definitely going to be coming through. So I called the owner of the house, told him I was done. He said okay. I said, he asked me how much he owes me. So I told him $300 for the original charge, $140 for the toilet. I didn't even put a markup on it. And I told him $60 for basically all the running around. And I understand he didn't want to pay that extra $60. I guess it makes sense, but when you go clear a drain and it backs up again, you don't know what you're coming up against, right? So we kind of got back and forth, and then he agreed on the $440. $300 for the actual job being done, $140 for the toilet. And on top of that, I even told him that I got a paper from Home Depot that in that area of where the job was, there was a $75 rebate on the toilet. So really he was only paying $65 for the toilet. He's like, okay, I'll get that sent over to you. Didn't hear nothing back the rest of that day. That was in the evening, so it's like, all right, whatever, I'll wait. And the next day, still a little shy. I'm gonna wait for these people to pass. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. So next day comes around and I text him, no answer. I call him, no answer. Got this kind of bad feeling in my gut that he's just basically sloughing me off. So I waited a couple hours and I was on my way to a birthday dinner at my in-laws' house. I got a call from him and he was saying that his business partners are lawyers and he wants to know how much he owes me. So I told him, and he's like, well, I think you didn't do the job properly. And then I told him, I'm like, well, that's why I'm not charging you anything extra. It's just the regular call plus the cost of the toilet. And he's like, well, I need the receipt for the toilet. I'm like, I can't give you a receipt because that's going to imply that you've paid the bill. I'm like, I'll give you an invoice, no problem, but I'm not giving you receipts until I get my money. And then he was basically started saying how I did a job, it didn't work the way I said it was going to. He was talking about my ad on the website, and I started telling him, it's like, if you read the actual website, it says starting at it. It's a marketing tactic. You called me because you thought I was the cheapest person that you could get to do the job. We got in a huge heated argument over the phone. He basically told me how he was from the streets. I told him how I was from the streets, and if he wanted to meet up and talk, I have absolutely no problem with that. He then said I threatened him, and I said wasn't a threat. I said if he wanted to meet up and talk, I would meet up at any time. Was that the wrong way of doing things? 100%. I don't condone that at all. I was in the wrong for saying that, but at this point I was so heated, I knew I wasn't getting paid. So he texts me back and he's like, you threatened me. I said, no, I didn't. Where's my money? Or when am I getting my money? He's like, that's enough. The last thing I said to him is, when am I getting my money? That's been about a week. I have not received any money, not received any phone calls, not received any text messages. And that's the story about how I got ripped off. It's hard to do a job and ask for money before you do the job. You take people's word that you're going to get paid, everything like that. So that's the story. Before you guys go, I got a couple things to say and ask, and basically say thank you guys. Channel's been growing pretty wildly lately, and I want to thank you guys. That's awesome. I've had a couple people ask, and they're like, oh, if I could buy you a beer, I definitely would. I used to have merch on my channel, took it down, but if you guys don't know what super thanks are, or memberships, or I think that's basically it. If you guys like a video and you wanted to donate to the channel, I'm not saying anybody has to, I'm just basically talking to people that have suggested this in the past. I know people have Patreon, and there's things like a website called Buy Me a Coffee and stuff like that, and you can kind of donate to the channel. I'm not telling anybody to donate, but if you wanted to, there's a button down below. It's called Super Thanks. On any video you can donate and support the channel that way. Basically, what the money's going to be going for is a better camera. I'm looking at a new camera. It's probably about $1,000. That's going to be a little ways down the road, but long term goals for the channel, with the income I make off of YouTube, one of the first thing is it's a big purchase, but a sewer camera. I would love to get a Milwaukee sewer camera. They're starting at, here in Canada, they're starting at like $9 grand. So that's something that is on my list of things. If we're talking long-term goals of the channel, honestly, I want to buy some land. I think this YouTube is going to help me do that. I want to build a house. I have a house where I live now, obviously, and I have a mortgage on that house, but I want to be able to buy some land and build a house, basically my dream house and my wife's and kids' dream house. I would also like to open up the channel to adventures that I go on. Oh, I guess that's a weird way of saying open up the channel. No, that's not right. I would like to share my adventures on YouTube. And leave some comments down below what you guys think and what you guys suggest I do and everything like that. And yeah, so I don't know. Again, I just want to say thank you guys. This journey I am on is not something I take lightly. I want to make this channel grow as much as I can. An overall goal of mine for this channel is to be the biggest drain channel on YouTube. I know there's Drain Addicts out there. He's got 500,000. There's Post 10. I think he's maybe got 600,000. I don't know, just off the top of my head. There's a lot of them out there, and I don't know. I just want to be the best. I take pride in my work. Sometimes not as much as I should, I guess. But like you guys know, I answer every single comment on my channel. I'm going to do that for as long as I can, because that's the person I want to be. If I ask a question, there goes the dog. If I ask a question, I would think I would like my question answered. So anytime people ask me a question, I try to answer it. That's where we're gonna leave this. And again, I want to say thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it. I do hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this has been Jay, that Drain Guy, signing out. Taragna. That's how many channels I got, how many views I got in the last 48 hours. I don't know what's so special about this video, how to clear a barbecue factory drain, but as of right now, it's got 332,000 views. Stephanie Chong, this is a little shout out to you. $3,468 subscribers is what we're at as of recording this video. Okay, so if you guys want to give me suggestions on the memberships, So basically the memberships, I know there's badges that you will have on the name tag. Like when you guys write a comment, your badge will come up, and it will say how long you've been a member for, I believe, or the different badges will mean different lengths that you've been a member. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for members, like we can do videos just for members, live streams just for members. I was thinking about possibly doing a giveaway once a month. I don't know if you guys would be interested in something like that. But just let me know and we can go from there. Any suggestions at all, I'll look at all the suggestions. And again, I'm not telling you guys have to be members or you need to support the channel. You guys watching and sharing and liking and commenting, that is doing everything it needs to be done as is. So I'm just going off of what other people have talked to me about, saying that, like, I know John told me if he could buy me a beer or a case of beer, he definitely would. So I'm not putting anybody and saying that they have to. It's just, this is going to be an option out there if you guys want to do that. And yeah, let me know down in the comments and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, Trug.